What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jam Movies, and it's time to pull off one more job with heat. So this has to be probably my favorite heist movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And even if the movie was, say, shaved down to, a small runtime, just that action scene alone with the final bank heist at the end and that big shootout right in the middle of the street, absolute masterpiece. In the sound that Michael Mann was able to create with those gunshots, phenomenal. But let's get into this budget first.
So, like always, the budget's at $60 million. Nice budget, and you have to expect a budget that big for an action movie, especially with all the gunshots and all the stuff.
A lot of more practical effects, I find.
Exactly,
obviously, right?
Yeah. In Canada and US, it grossed 67, so it made money $7 million just in the Canada and US. But in the whole world, it made 187, so that's not bad at all. But what do you have to say about the budget?
Oh, I'm surprised it's not in the 100 millions.
Yeah.
Right. If you look at movies now that use all these CGI effects with gunshots, fight scenes, gunplay scenes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that kind of quality.
No.
And he was able to spend $60 million to create this type of movie and get the actors. Because now let's get into the actors here. We got some top dogs. Val Kilmer's not a huge name anymore, but he is going to go down as a legend. He's been done multiple good movies, and he wasn't too bad as Batman. We'll say that right now, right? But he's done his fair share of good movies. Then you have the fact that Robert De Niro and Al Pacino are on screen together for the first time, right? Because I think we talked about this earlier, and I had said about they were in the same movies, Godfather Part 2, because I know what the audience is going to say, oh no, they were together. I'm talking about actually on screen together. And then that one scene, which we'll get into a little later on, where De Niro's character and Al Pacino's character, they get together and have that conversation at the table. Every time I watch that conversation gives me the chills alone. What did you think of the acting in this movie?
I liked it. The chemistry between everyone was great. I think everyone filled the roles, and certain parts were improvised, like Al Pacino's, because she's got a great ass.
Yeah.
But that being said, it was just the chemistry. Everyone got together so well, and like you were saying as well, Al Pacino and De Niro were never on screen together at the same time, and to see their chemistry was great to see for the first time.
And they're two top of their game actors,
exactly.
Right? We talk about movie stars, those are movie stars, right?
Yeah.
They've done some, and every time
Bronx Tale.
We could list a list, and we'd probably go from here out the door, right? Of these guys, or whatever. But then finally we get them on screen, and it's it was magic, right? The entire movie was magic. I did like the fact that they had them playing opposite sides of the law too, right? Then it could have went either way. De Niro could have played Al Pacino's character and vice versa, because they've done those roles before, right? And Val Kilmer too. Don't take anything. He's a supporting actor in this movie. We can't take anything from him in this movie. His role as that, gambling,
which I actually have something to add about him, but we'll get it to when we get to later on in the thing. But sorry, keep going.
Yeah, well, is it because he's hard to work for?
No.
Okay. Anyways, Val Kilmer's made some well-rounded movies as well. His portrayal of this character in this movie, excellent. He mashed together. He kept up his own with the big shots on the screen, Al Pacino and De Niro. I thought, anyways, right?
Yeah, I agree too.
All around great acting, right? I don't have a problem with a single person in this film.
Okay, let's get into the story now. I thought the story was great. Some people complain about it. I guess you can cut some of the scenes between Val Kilmer and his wife, and some of the kind of building the foundation of the story.
It's a long film, right?
3 hours. It's 2 hours and 59 minutes.
We'll call it. We'll chalk it up to 3 hours.
Yeah. Would I cut it? No. I'm happy with it. It's a long movie. Yes, I'll split it up, or I'll watch the whole thing in a sitting. But I don't mind spending 3 hours watching the movie, because it was directed greatly. Going back to Michael Mann, he shot it kind of like there was always it was an investigation going on with the far lenses. It was always like there was an investigation going on trying to find everyone, right? Which I thought was an interesting way of directing it and filming it. Sorry, but what do you think about the story? Sorry.
Oh, I mean, it kept me engaged the entire way through, right? Even though it was like, there's action, of course there is. It's not a whole lot of action, right? And in a heist movie, you expect a certain amount, I guess. This reminded me, like, actually the town, takes notes from this, where it's more of like a slow-paced drama, but the action sequences are top-notch, right? I find like movies like Den of Thieves, stuff like that, are a little more action packed, we'll say. But this movie kept me engaged from start to finish. I can't even think of a single flaw in this movie, right?
I agree, yeah.
I've watched it I don't know how many times, and every time I see that big shootout scene in the middle of the street, crank the volume way up, and I enjoy the hell out of it.
Okay, you keep talking about that scene.
I let's get into it. Talk about it.
What's your favorite scene then?
You know what? I'm gonna have to go with the big shootout in the middle of the street, right?
No way.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about. I guess they had different microphones positioned all over that scene, so they can get the effect from all the different gunshots and the surroundings of it, which is super cool and intelligent. And that's probably why when I crank it up on the surround sound and I can hear all those gunshots coming around me, and it feels like it's right in your living room.
And yeah, at the time, I don't think that was a popular thing, or it hasn't really been done. So like he did it with either being the first or one of the few firsts, and he did it immaculately. But keep going.
Yeah, no. Michael Mann's he's a master of his craft, right? He hasn't done anything too recent, but what was it, Ferrari?
Ferrari,
yeah. And I know he's coming back to do Heat 2. I don't know if you guys know Heat 2 is on its way.
That'll be good.
I think Adam Driver is signed on so far. Which should be cool, and I know it's going to be a prequel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you're going to watch De Niro's character, I guess, as the rise to where we left off in the first Heat. So, what would you say your favorite scene is?
Same as yours. That's why I wanted to get into it as well. I don't have too much to add to what you've said, to be honest. But going back to Val Kilmer and keeping up with Al Pacino and all of them. They used the reloading scene of him reloading the mag, if I'm not mistaken, and like training videos and
cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
So that tells you like he took his role so serious. He probably got training for it and took time, because if they're using that as a training video, he has to have done it like almost perfect for them to be using it. So I feel like he had to have practiced it multiple times. But
it's funny. It's very funny you mentioned that too, because now like I wouldn't have even thought about that watching the movie, but now that you're saying it, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That scene did look like when he was filling the clips, loading it, unloading it.
Professional.
It was flawless, right? Like flawless for the movie, not that's I completely agree with you, and we're both agreeing on the best scene of the movie, which I'm sure most of the audience will agree as well.
Let's get into the ending.
Oh, the ending, yeah, sure. The ending was satisfying for me. At the end, we got the final showdown between Hanna and McCauley, De Niro and Al Pacino, and they got to say their final words. And what I appreciated at the end of the movie is that little respect they gave each other. It's like, it's over now, I won, but I respect you.
Yeah.
Right. And it was written, even if they didn't say it, it was there. Right. So yeah. We would have liked to see De Niro maybe fly off into the sunset, but then that would have left like Al Pacino. But I tend to always root for the bad guy in the movie anyway, so like maybe I would have appreciated that scene a little bit more. But it was perfect the way they ended it. Absolutely perfect. How do you feel about it?
I agree too. It was a perfect ending. I'm excited to see the prequel now, and like I didn't think they would make a prequel, so it's cool that they are. But I'd like to see how he got to where he got. So that's not really sorry about the ending, but I thought the ending was done perfectly, and I would have liked the bad guy to win too, but you can't always have it that way. But it was still a great ending nonetheless.
Yep.
So let's get right into it. What do you rate this movie on the Jammeter?
The Jammeter. You know what? I'm gonna go with a 90%. It's probably my favorite heist movie. I love heist movies, right down to Den of Thieves, like I mentioned before, and The Town. There's a few more there that we're not going to get completely into, but the Heat is definitely my top heist movie. There's nothing really too much you can say about it. As if we're comparing it to an action film, it's probably why I didn't give it a 100%. The movie was a little bit long, right? It didn't need to be that long, but kept me engaged the whole way through. So 90% is fitting. How about you?
Me, I rated it 90% as well. Acting and everything was great. Storyline was great, but like you said, the film was I don't mind how long it was, but I could see others' view on how long it was. It could have cut some scenes, probably half hour at least, and still had a good movie and storyline. So that's why it lost the 5% or the 10%. But nonetheless, it's a great movie. We watch movies that are rated in the 50s and all the way to the 100s. So
yeah, don't judge it till you watch it. Exactly. Right? Thanks, guys, for joining us on our another classic discussion of a classic movie, Heat. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, thanks for jamming out with us, guys.